Live from Staten Island, New York, as we have a view of the New York City skyline in the background as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are just about ready to go in the first of a three-game set with the Staten Island FerryHawks. Blue Crabs had won 4 consecutive before falling 5-4 in Game 2 of the doubleheader at home against the High Point Rockers. The Blue Crabs will send right-handed pitcher Adrian Cook to the mound. He'll face off against the Staten Island FerryHawks ace, Matt Salter, who has been really strong throughout this season, gone at least 5 innings in all 18 starts. We're going to have a lot more information on that, the starting lineups and more. But first, we had a chance to catch up with Raul Shah, who's back in the lineup tonight for the Blue Crabs. Let's take a listen to that. We are back from Staten Island at Staten Island University Health Community Ballpark. It's quite a mouthful, but that's the name of the stadium where the Blue Crabs are taking on Staten Island for Game 1 of this 3-game set. Austin Rooney joined by Raul Shah. Raul, you're back in the lineup tonight. It's a good sign.
Yeah, I'm happy to be playing, and it's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to it, so we'll get a nice win today.
Well, the Blue Crabs certainly looking for a win. I don't think there's a better ballpark in independent or minor league baseball. I think this place probably outduels quite a few major league ballparks with the background here. This is one of the coolest places you could play.
Yeah, absolutely. The skyline, New York City skyline is beautiful. The playing surface is really nice. And, I mean, when it's twilight hour, this place just comes to life. And it's just incredible to play here.
It's also really convenient. I know you go sightseeing from time to time when you go on the road. The Staten Island Ferry is maybe a quarter mile down the road.
Yeah, I took the ferry in today, and I'll take it back after the game. I'm staying in the financial district with my parents, so that'll be fun. And you're right, I do like to sightsee. Wherever we go places, I like to take advantage of traveling and try a different place to eat or maybe walk around the area, pretty much every city that we go to.
I'd imagine this is the top spot, but do you have another place along the road that maybe ranks up there with it?
I've liked all the cities that we've been to. I really liked it when we were in Gastonia. I went to Charlotte, North Carolina. I really liked that. I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought Lexington was really nice, too. That was a great time. And a lot of the East Coast cities I've already seen, but those two really stick out in my mind.
Where did you go in New York? I know you talked about the financial district. What else are you doing now that you're here in the city?
Man, I just love to eat, so I just like trying different bakeries, cafes, restaurants. I have some friends here, so, we try to go out and get some good food and stuff like that. And I like to just walk around, too. And, last time I was here, I think I walked 10 miles in a day. So I get a good vibe for the city just doing that alone.
It's a lot of fun. Last time I was here with Andrew Branstra, our old broadcaster who was here, and we went to a couple of pizza spots that were ranked top 5 in New York and probably top 10 in the country, and it was something else. They got great pizza there. Have you tried any?
Yeah, funny you asked. Last night I tried a place called Joe's Pizza. I think there are a few locations, but I went to the one in the financial district, and it was fantastic. It was really good. And I don't say that just to, get on board the hype train, but it was really good.
We went to John's of Bleecker Street, which I hear is supposed to be one of the best, and then Angelo's Coal-Fired Pizza, and both those knocked it out of the park, some of the best pizza I've had. We talked enough about some of our travel and some of the spots we've stopped at. Let's talk a little bit about baseball. Last time out, you had 3 walks in your first 3 at-bats. Is that something you're working on at the plate?
Yeah, I changed a few things at the plate, just getting a little more rhythm, getting a little more or less robotic. Changed my approach a little bit, just try to, hunt fastballs and, hit the ball hard to center field and kind of work off of that. And I'm seeing the ball a lot better, so my at-bats have been great. I'm very happy with them, and I'm looking forward to just keeping that going.
I remember early in the season you had some of the best numbers in the team. Your batting average was off the charts. Has there been anything that's changed since then to where we are right here?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is you play a long season, and it's easy to fall into old habits and patterns, and I think you just have to stay vigilant and make sure that you're almost refreshing your mind with the right approach every single day, making sure that you don't let little bad habits sort of creep their way back in, because then they can kind of snowball. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to another great game, and hopefully hit some balls hard today and get on base.
You say you're looking forward to a great game. Matt Solter on the other side of the ball for Staten Island. Anything on him in particular?
No, not particularly. You'll see when he starts throwing, but.
And now performing the American National Anthem, please welcome to the field, Rick.
We had a chance to listen to the interview with Raul Shah, the Italian national anthem, as it's Italian Heritage Night here in Staten Island, as well as the American national anthem. We are just about ready to go. We'll give you some information on Matt Solter, the starting pitcher for the Staten Island FerryHawks, who come into this game with a 32-67 record. In the second half, they are 14-19. They sit 9.5 games out of first place here in the second half after a very strong start where they were trading back and forth with Lancaster for that top spot in the division. Matt Solter, he's gone at least 5 innings of work in each 8 of his 18 starts this year. FerryHawks are 7-11 when he has taken them out. Last time out, 5 innings of work, 8 hits, 4 earned. He walked 4, he struck out 6. That 4 walks number a little bit high, and it's been high recently. In his last 5 starts, 4 different occasions he had at least 3 walks. It's definitely higher than where he'd like it to be. And earlier this season, his walk numbers were terrific. Across his first 7 starts, he had 2 walks or fewer on 6 different occasions. Just about ready to go. Let's run you through the Blue Crabs starting lineup tonight, along with the defensive alignment for the Staten Island FerryHawks. It's Jack Sundberg. He's in left field. He's going to lead things off for the Blue Crabs. Michael Wolanski, he bats second. He's at shortstop. Braxton Lee's the DH today. He bats third. Jared Walker is the cleanup hitter. He's at first base. Zach Collier in center field. He bats fifth. Raul Shah is at second base. He bats sixth. Matt Hibbert in right field today. He bats seventh. Ian Yetzko is at third base. He bats eighth. And Mike Falsetti closes out the order, batting ninth. Well, Jack Sundberg steps in against the righty Matt Solter. And we are just about ready to go from Staten Island University Health Ballpark. Solter ready, over the head, the pitch. And it's a little bit low on the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Glad you could join us on a terrific evening in New York City. It really does not get much better than this. Some clouds in the sky. The skyline overhead is terrific. Pitch, fly ball down the left field line. This one deep, this one tailing. And the corner, it's Antoine Duplantis who tracks it down. In a bit of a blind spot for us, as it's unclear exactly what happened. Someone was running out there to try to address Antoine Duplantis and the situation in the corner. Down the very corner in that left field. It's a little tough for us to see. Either way, Jack Sundberg hit that ball far. He hit the ball well, and now Jack Sundberg is talking with the home plate umpire, that's J.B. Torres, regarding that situation out in left field. Again, it's tough for me to see it in this angle, exactly what transpired out in the left field corner, and now the umpires are going to come together. I'm not quite sure what the alternative is. It seems as though there's one out in the top of the first inning. Third base umpire, Tony Gisandi, is the one who's explaining things to Stan Clyburn. Jack Sundberg wasn't thrilled about it, whatever happened down there, and there's virtually no room down that left field line. And the stands jut out just a little bit, so it's a blind spot from our angle here. First pitch to Wolanski on the ground, third base side foul. And that ball had some real pop on it off the bat of Jack Sundberg. He was looking for his 4th home run the other way. And whatever happened, Antoine Duplantis made the catch out in the left field corner. 0-1 pitch a little bit away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 away in the top of the first. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs winners of 4 of their last 5 as the 1-1 pitch is low. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Blue Crabs are 19-12 in the second half. 2-1. Line drive through the left side for a base hit. Past the outstretched reach of the third baseman Javier Betancourt. And into left field, there's 1 on with 1 out. It's a big hit for Michael Wolanski, who was not hitting the ball that well recently. In the homestand, he hit just 6 for 36. He did have a couple of home runs, but not the numbers that Michael Wolanski is accustomed to, and the Blue Crabs have become accustomed to with him in the lineup. Here's Braxton Lee. First pitch on the ground slowly. Back to the mound. Solter looks to second. Doesn't have a play. An underhand flip to first is his only option. He takes the out at first, and there are 2 away. Runner on second base for the Blue Crabs in the top of this first inning as Jared Walker comes to the plate. So after Jack Sundberg flied out to deep left field, Michael Wolanski a single. Braxton Lee grounded back to the pitcher. And here's Jared Walker, the cleanup hitter. We'll bring you around the diamond defensively for the FerryHawks. It's Antoine Duplantis in left, Ricardo Cespedes in center, Rusty Castillo in right. At third base, Javier Betancourt. The shortstop is Alfredo Reyes. First pitch swinging on the ground to first base. It's Ramon Osuna who will take it to the bag himself for the final out. Well, let's finish around the diamond for the Staten Island FerryHawks. Angel Aguilar at second. We just heard from Ramon Osuna who fielded and got the out at first base. It's Andres Noriega who's doing the catching for Matt Solter. Oh, we're done with the top of the first inning. The Blue Crabs leave a runner on second base. When we come back, the Staten Island FerryHawks will come to the plate. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Back with you in the bottom of the first inning. It's Antoine Duplantis who digs in from the left side. First pitch from Cook. Line drive, left center field. This one dropping quickly. It's Sundberg on the run who makes the catch in left center field for the first out. Oh, well hit the other way off the bat of Antoine Duplantis. Used to call his games back in the Cape Cod Baseball League, the Summer Collegiate League. He struggled in Double-A earlier this year, was released, and finds himself in Staten Island where he's hitting north of 300. But he flies out to left this time around. It's Dilson Herrera who digs in. We'll bring you the numbers on Adrian Cook momentarily. Pitch. It's a called strike, and the count no balls and one strike as it comes in right to the belt on Dilson Herrera. Adrian Cook making his fourth start of the year for the Blue Crabs. 0-1. A little bit upstairs. Count a ball and a strike. One out. No score in the bottom of the first inning. His first two starts this year were very tough, especially that first one when he went just a third of an inning, allowing 6 earned runs. Second time out, 4 1/3, allowed 6 runs, 4 earned. Pitch on the ground to second slowly. Shaw's got it. He flips to first. 2 up and 2 down, as Angel Aguilar will come to the plate. But his most recent performance was much, much better. 6 innings of work, 5 hits. He allowed 2 runs and just 1 earned. That was against the Long Island Ducks. So Adrian Cook getting back in the right direction after a better start last time out. Looks to continue upon that recent success today. He's already gotten more outs than he had in his entire first outing. 2 up and 2 down to get things started. From the windup, first pitch, a little bit low on the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Let's bring you through the Staten Island FerryHawks starting lineup along with the defensive alignment for the Blue Crabs if we have time. 1-0 pitch, a little bit low on the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Antoine Duplantis led things off. He flied to left. Ilson Herrera grounded to second. Here's Angel Aguilar. Following him, it will be Rusney Castillo. Ricardo Cespedes bats 5th. Joseph Monhay is in the 6th spot. Javier Betancourt bats 7th. The pitch, that's away. And the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Ramon Osuna, the big bat, is in the 8th spot. He bats first. He's at first base, I should say. And Alfredo Reyes closes out the lineup. He is the shortstop for the FerryHawks. 3-0 pitch. A little bit low and away. It's ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk issued by Adrian Cook. Cook walked 8 batters in his second start against High Point. But last time around, just 1 walk across 6 innings. The question is, which version of Adrian Cook do we see today? As he issues a walk to Angel Aguilar. Here's Rusney Castillo. Castillo hitting .310, 6 home runs, 43 RBIs. And the home plate umpire, that's J.B. Torres, calls time. Pitch, this one on the ground over to shortstop. Easy play for Wolanski. He steps on the bag in time to get Angel Aguilar, and that ends the bottom of the first inning. No runs and 1 base runner left on base for the Staten Island FerryHawks at the end of an inning of play. This ball game is scoreless from Staten Island.
Are you in the market for a new roof? Well, give William Richmond Inc. a call and get serviced by Southern Maryland's premier roofing contractor. Locally owned and operated, William Richmond Inc. is licensed, bonded, and insured, and has a 5-star rating on HomeAdvisor. They care about their work almost as much as they care about your home. Call 443-432-3426 today for a free estimate, or go to WilliamRichmondInc.com. Don't forget to mention the Blue Crabs and save 10% on any service.
We go to the top of the second inning in a scoreless ball game. Blue Crabs send 5, 6, and 7 to the plate. The first pitch popped it up in the infield. It is the third baseman Javier Betancourt who tracked back, now in, and he makes the catch on where the dirt would be on this turf field. And there's one away. This field is all turf all the time in all spots. Even the chalk down the first base and third base line are part of the turf. I feel like that might be a little bit unsettling for a player. And the pitch in there for a called strike because you just don't get any different footing. Everything is the same. So you don't really get a warning track either because, again, it's all the same surface. It's visually a little different. Pitch. It's a little away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. On Zach Collier, I beg your pardon, on Raul Shah, the righty. Zach Collier popped out to third. Here's the 1-1 delivery. That's away. Count 2-1 on Shah. Raul Shah had a really tough month in July, but you heard him in the pregame interview saying that he feels really good at the plate. He's seeing the ball well. And he felt like he was a little too robotic up there. Shah hitting .300 against the FerryHawks. 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Pitch foul back overhead. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last time out, Shah 0 for 2. He scored 2 runs. Also walked 3 times. He's back on Friday evening. I beg your pardon, on Tuesday. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, back behind home plate. They count 2 balls and 2 strikes. With all the rainouts going on and the different series between these 3-game sets. It was the first game in that series against High Point. It's tough to remember what day of the week it is when you got games every day. But today is a Friday. 2-2. High pop-up, shallow right field, long run for a few different players. It's Angel Aguilar out there who makes a basket catch for the second out as he ranged over toward that right field line and made the underhand catch for the second out. So Zach Collier popped up to third, Raul Shah pops up to second, and here comes Matt Hibbert, who will dig in from the right side. Blue Crabs have 1 hit so far. It came from Michael Wolanski back in the first inning. He was stranded on second base. The Blue Crabs at risk of going down here in order in the top of the second. A 7 p.m. start time tonight, a 6 p.m. start time tomorrow. Pitch, that's low in the count. A ball and no strikes. Have a terrific view of the New York skyline with the Statue of Liberty over the center field wall. Pitch. It's a little low and away. Count 2 balls and no strikes now on Hibbert. Having a tough time seeing it. Sort of that bluish green color, and it's just to the left of the center field batter's eye. As the pitch, swing and a miss. And they count 2 balls and a strike. The scoreboard up there has 1 and 2. I don't think that's the right count, though. I believe it's 2 and 1. The offering, swinging a high fly ball, right field, hit well, but Castillo has room as he backpedals a few steps and makes the catch in front of the warning track for the final out. Either way, the Blue Crabs go down in order. A pop up to third, a pop up to second, and a fly out to right. This ball game remains scoreless on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ryan Haug, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Scoreless game in the bottom of the second inning. You just heard moments ago from Ryan Haug, the Blue Crabs catcher, who is not in the lineup tonight, as he hopes to get better over the next couple of days and be ready to go for some action either later this weekend or potentially in the next series against Gastonia. Now the Blue Crabs and the FerryHawks are scoreless today, as Adrian Cook coming off of a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning. Threw just 11 pitches, didn't throw a lot of strikes, 4 strikes and 7 balls from the righty. But a 1-2-3 inning nonetheless. First pitch upstairs in the count, a ball and no strikes on Ricardo Cespedes. He'll be followed by Joseph Monhay and Javier Betancourt. Pitch, line drive, well struck into center field, bounces in front of Zach Collier for a base hit. And Ricardo Cespedes picks up the first hit of the day for the Staten Island FerryHawks. There's one on with nobody out. Well, if getting the leadoff hitter was the goal here for Adrian Cook, he did it back in the first inning, did not do it here in the second. One on and nobody out. Here's the pitch. Called strike. That one comes in the outside corner. The count, no balls and 1 strike on Andres Noriega. Short lead off of first base from Ricardo Cespedes. Pitch, grounded foul, third base side, and the count 0-2. Well, fans, if you'd like a shout out tonight on the road here in Staten Island, just let us know. We'll make sure to give you a shout out in the YouTube chat. No balls and 2 strikes on Monhay. Cook tosses over to first to check on the runner, Ricardo Cespedes. Melissa A says, wow, that's a pretty field. I'd agree. The legend of Delanitis says that's a nice field as well. And I think that everybody can agree upon that. The backdrop probably beats it as well. Dennis Moore coming from us from Jenna, Louisiana. Pitch on the ground over to shortstop. Wolanski to second for 1. Back on to first. A double play. 6-4-3 double play, and there are 2 away. Oh, a terrific defensive stop by Michael Wolanski. Had to field that ball on backhand. His momentum was taking him to third. I wasn't sure the Blue Crabs would get 1 out, let alone 2. But Wolanski, a quick flip to second. And Monhay does not run all that well. And so there are 2 away. A strong turn from Raul Shah as well. And the first pitch is away for ball 1 on Javier Betancourt. Well, Cook certainly catches a bit of a break that time. First the 1-0 pitch, high fly ball, deep left field. This one sends Sundberg back. He's in front of the warning track where he makes the catch. That left center field alley is very deep here in Staten Island. That might have caught the mini monster back in Southern Maryland, but it's just a long fly out here at the community ballpark. And that ends the bottom of the second inning. Well, Blue Crab starter Adrian Cook faces the minimum in the second inning as he works around a leadoff single at the end of 2 innings of play. This ball game remains scoreless on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
At Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, mortgages are what they do, not who they are. Fairway Mortgage Corporation is a proud partner of the American Warrior Initiative. A key part of this initiative is to educate, encourage, and inspire Americans to give back to our military. Visit their website at www.americanwarriorinitiative.com for more details. Our military fought to protect the American dream. Let's help them live it.
Ready to go in the top of the third inning as Ian Yetzko steps in. First pitch swinging, hard fly ball, deep left field. This one back to the warning track at the wall. It one hops the wall. Yetzko trots into second with a leadoff double. And the Blue Crabs have a runner on second with nobody out in the top of the third in a scoreless ball game. A big-time hit from the third baseman as he smoked that ball down the left field line. There's a runner on second now with nobody out. Hit that ball on the nose and destroyed it to left. That would have been off the mini monster back in Southern Maryland, possibly over it. But here in Staten Island, very deep in left, pitch called strike on Mike Falsetti in the count 0-1. Here's the 0-1 offering. Swing and a miss at a pitch low in the dirt. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Count, no balls and 2 strikes. Pitch, line drive softly, first base line. It's going to get down for a base hit into right field. Yetzko rounds third. He'll score all the way from second. It's an RBI single from Mike Falsetti, who continues to hit well at the plate, and the Blue Crabs have a 1-0 lead. Oh, the 8 and 9 hitters coming through for Southern Maryland. Well, Mike Falsetti came into this ball game with a batting average of just 176, but he comes up with a base hit, and due to the limited number of at-bats, he's up to 200 with the hit. Pitch, called strike on the outside corner to Jack Sundberg in the count 0-1. Now we talk about Falsetti's abilities throwing the ball, but his time as a defensive catcher, he has allowed 7 pass balls in 9 starts. Pitch, popped him up. Sundberg popped it up over to the shortstop area. Alfredo Reyes onto the outfield green turf. And he makes the catch overhead for the first out. Falsetti chased back to the bag at first. And there's one away. Well, the Blue Crabs won, FerryHawks nothing. As Southern Maryland is on the board in the top of the third inning. Here comes Michael Wolanski. Wolanski 1 for 1 today. Unfortunately, the TrackMan data is not updating for Staten Island. I'd love to give you some numbers about how hard Ian Yetzko's ball was hit and the velocity for both Adrian Cook and the starting pitcher for Staten Island, Matt Solter, but unfortunately I cannot. Falsetti started, then stopped running as the pitch is in there for a called strike at the knees on Michael Wolanski. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. 1-0 Blue Crabs on a terrific Saturday evening in New York City. 0-1 pitch Line drive, this one well hit to right center field. It sends the right fielder Rusney Castillo back in front of the warning track where he makes the catch. About head high for the second out. 2 up and 2 down following a leadoff double and an RBI single. That gave the Blue Crabs a 1-0 lead. Braxton Lee steps in. He's 0 for 1 today. Pitch a little bit low. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Braxton Lee had an outstanding homestand across 12 games in the last 14 days. 1-0. Line drive, hard hit, third base side foul. And the count, a ball and a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on with 2 away. It is Italian Heritage Night here in Staten Island. If you see the red, white, and green jerseys for the FerryHawks, that's the reason. They toss over to first to check on Falsetti, who is responsible for that first run as picked up an RBI single, driving in Ian Yetzko. Count, a ball and a strike on Braxton Lee. The pitch, that's low, count 2-1. Last one toward the shoe tops on the lefty. We talked about the homestand for Braxton Lee. He was 16 for 34 with 3 home runs and 3 triples. The pitch on the ground now toward third base, fielded by the third baseman Betancourt. He fires the first. It's in time to get the speedy Lee at first base. Well, that ends the top of the third inning, but not before the Blue Crabs score 1 after a leadoff double from Ian Yetzko and a bloop single from Mike Falsetti. It's Southern Maryland 1 and Staten Island 0 as one of those shipping container boats passes by in center field. We'll leave the camera on it as we go to break. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, we get things started in the bottom of the third inning. The first pitch is away for ball one. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0 pitch is away as well. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Apologize for some brief technical difficulties there. 2-0 pitch to Ramon Osuna. It's a called strike as it clips the outside corner, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Glad to have you with us in the bottom of the third inning. The Blue Crabs got 1 run in the top of the third as a 2-1 pitch just a hair outside, and the count 3 balls and 1 strike. A leadoff double from Ian Yetzko to the wall in left before it was Mike Falsetti who blooped one into right. 3-1 pitch, a little bit low and away. It's ball 4 as Ramon Osuna walks. It is the second walk given up by the Blue Crabs starting pitcher Adrian Cook across 2+ innings. Now, we talked about this last inning, but Adrian Cook is a pitcher that has had a lot of variation in the number of walks that he has allowed. Pitch, high pop-up into shallow left field off the bat of Alfredo Reyes. It's Michael Wolanski onto the green outfield turf where he makes the catch, and there is 1 away. Back to the top of the lineup now as Antoine Duplantis will come to the plate. Back to that last point, though. Last time out, Adrian Cook walked just 1 batter across 6 innings. The start prior, 8 walks across 4 1/3. And that doesn't show you the variation in the number of walks that he's going to allow across starts. I'm not sure what will. And the pitch called strike to Antoine Duplantis. Duplantis played with the Mets AA system until he was released. Also holds the record at LSU for total hits. As the 0-1 pitch is away, count a ball and a strike now, with a runner on first base and 1 out. Well, for back-to-back innings, Adrian Cook has allowed the leadoff man to reach. In the second, Ricardo Cespedes singled. Here in the third inning, a walk to Ramon Osuna, who's off on the pitch, swing and a miss, and Falsetti couldn't handle it. Ramon Osuna, big guy, goes over and steals second base on the swing and the miss from Antoine Duplantis. I'd imagine a hit and run was on that time, because I would not imagine that Ramon Osuna, who was officially listed at 6'2", 245, will be prone to being a terrific base stealer. A 1-2 delivery, swinging a line drive, well hit, deep right center field. Collier back, he's in front of the warning track. He makes the catch backhanded toward the shoulder level, and there are 2 away. 2 away in the bottom of the third inning. Runner on second base after the walk and the stolen base from Ramon Osuna. Those numbers on Ramon Osuna is yet to steal a base this season. And now a toss over to second base to check on Osuna, who slides back in feet first. Dilson Herrera comes to the plate. A long fly out to left from Duplantis, now a long fly out to right. As there are 2 away in the bottom of the third inning, Adrian Cook has kept the pitch count down. Pitch, line drive, shallow right field coming in. Hibbert's got to play it out of bounds. He fires to the plate as Osuna rounds third. Falsetti couldn't come up with a baseball. Osuna will score. Rounding second, Dilson Herrera heads into third base. On a ball that Mike Falsetti probably should have had on a decent throw from Matt Hibbert out in right field. Threw that one to the plate. It was in time to get Osuna, but Falsetti couldn't come up with it. Meanwhile, Dilson Herrera to third base. This is a 1-1 ball game as a single into right turns into a runner on third base and a run in with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. We'll get you the official ruling as soon as it comes our way. As Angel Aguilar digs in from the right side. First pitch a little bit inside, and the count 1-0. Oh, I beg your pardon. It's a called strike. Well, either way, I'd imagine Dilson Herrera picks up the RBI on that play. 0-1 pitch. Popped it up. First base side. Jared Walker gets under it, and he makes the catch for the final out. Well, we'll give you the update when we come back on the scoring on that last play. Either way, this ball game is tied at 1 as we go to the top of the 4th inning from Staten Island, New York.
At Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, mortgages are what they do, not who they are. Fairway Mortgage Corporation is a proud partner of the American Warrior Initiative. A key part of this initiative is to educate, encourage, and inspire Americans to give back to our military. Visit their website at www.americanwarriorinitiative.com for more details. Our military fought to protect the American dream. Let's help them live it.
We are ready to go here in the top of the 4th. 1-1 ball game. First pitch is upstairs to Jared Walker, and the count of ball and no strikes. Well, news across Major League Baseball today that Fernando Tatis has been suspended 80 games for a performance-enhancing drugs violation. I'd imagine that will extend into the 2023 season, as there are fewer than 80 games remaining this year. 2-0. That's away. Count 3 balls and no strikes. As Jared Walker will be followed by Zach Collier and Raul Shah. Now, if you remember about Fernando Tatis, we'll give you a couple of numbers on him. 3-0 pitch in there for a called strike. Count 3-1. Last year with the San Diego Padres, hit .282 with 42 home runs and 97 RBIs. Pitch, ground ball, foul, first base side. The count 3-2. A lot of athletes that are recovering from injuries will use different supplements and different treatments to try to expedite the recovery process. And some of them are legal and some of them have some gray area, and it's possible he just sort of crossed the line a little bit, either intentionally or unintentionally. 3-2 pitch in on the hands, foul back. There's also questions about supplements and their origins, that they were tainted with a steroid that might be on a banned list with very low amounts of that steroid. So we'll have to see what comes of this. I'm sure there'll be more news to break in the days to come regarding Fernando Tatis, one of the rising stars in Major League Baseball. As the 3-2 pitch is up and in on Jared Walker. And there's a runner on first base with nobody out. And it's also a question for what this holds for Major League Baseball moving forward. I mean, there hasn't been a major player that's tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. I can't think of one since Ryan Braun. It's certainly been a little while since somebody who's a really big name has tested positive. Pitch, foul back, and the count 0-1 on Zach Collier. I think the rules are generally pretty well laid out. So I think there have been a lot of players, David Ortiz included, who said, look, if you test positive at this point, that's on you. The rules are very clearly laid out, and maybe you deserve a lifetime ban at this point based on how clear it is what you can and can't use. But then again, supplements that are tainted and all sorts of different questions come into that equation, and injury recovery time, and the 0-1 pitch upstairs, count 1-1. One ball, one strike, nobody out. Runner goes, line drive, third base side foul. Gets toward the seats, hit and run might have been on that time for the Blue Crabs. Friday night in Staten Island, this place rather packed tonight. Solid crowd on hand at Staten Island University Health Community Ballpark. We're coming here to take in some baseball and some terrific views of the New York skyline. Tossed over to first base to check on the runner, Jared Walker. Now we're going to have some shout outs to come in a couple of moments. Also a trivia question coming up in the bottom of the fourth inning regarding some of these container ships that we see come by. 1-2 pitch, foul back, count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Edward Hibbert says that this field is in the movie, bottom of the ninth. I haven't seen it, I couldn't tell you, but you very well might be right. Alfredo Mendoza says, let's go Blue Crabs. A Blue Crabs win would make this Friday perfect. That's the legend. Wes Bumper says, Austin, Kimmy asked if you could zoom in on the Statue of Liberty between an inning break. We'll do that. 1-2 pitch. It's a little bit low. It got away briefly from the catcher, Andres Noriega. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm not sure exactly how clear it will be, but I will do my best to give you a zoom-in shot on the Statue of Liberty in between innings. It's a little bit hard to see from here, as there is a reflection based on the sunset. So if not this inning, maybe a little later. 2-2 pitch, hard ground ball, foul, first base side. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lucasa says, I'm glad Staten Island finally got pro baseball back again. But let's go Blue Crabs. Welcome all fans tuning into tonight's broadcast, whether you're joining us from Waldorf or you're cheering for the Blue Crabs. Pitch, line drive, right center field, base hit. Walker goes from first to third. The center fielder Duplantis overran it. Now Collier trots into second. Walker goes to the plate. The throw home gets past the catcher Noriega. The pitcher Solter to back up, but Walker scores all the way from first. As it's a single for Zach Collier. I don't think he's going to get an RBI for that, as Antoine Duplantis misplayed it in center field. Either way, the Blue Crabs have a 2-1 lead in the top of the fourth inning on a single to right center And then it was Antoine Duplantis who overran the ball a little bit, allowed Collier to get to second, and amid all the chaos, Walker slipped around third and came to the plate and gave the Blue Crabs a 2-1 lead. Top of the fourth inning, nobody out still, and a runner on second base. Raul Shaw, an opportunity to advance Zach Collier. Pitch, line drive, left field. This one falling and falling fast. It falls in front of the left fielder, Antoine Duplantis. The throw is going to come all the way to the plate. This one's late. Zach Collier scores from second. Raul Shaw into second base. After the throw got past the catcher, Noriega, it's a 3-1 lead for the Blue Crabs. And a runner on second base, still with nobody out. Blue Crabs 3, Staten Island 1. Let's run back through these plays. It was a leadoff walk from Jared Walker. And then a single from Zach Collier, who advanced to second base on an error by the center fielder. I said that was Antoine Duplantis. It's Ricardo Cespedes out in center field. Antoine Duplantis is in left. Zach Collier came in to score on the single to left field from Raul Shaw, who advances to second base on a throwing error by the left fielder Antoine Duplantis. Also picks up an RBI. First pitch to Matt Hibbert is a little bit low and away, and the count 1-0. 1-0 pitch, that's away as well, in the count 2 balls and no strikes. Southern Maryland 3, Staten Island 1. Beautiful sunset. Because of the sunset here and the glare on some of the skyscrapers in the background, it's even very tough for me to pick out the Statue of Liberty right now, but we'll get to it between innings. I promise you, Wes. 2-0 pitch, foul back behind home plate. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Still nobody out. Again, a walk from Walker. A single and an error by the center fielder, Ricardo Cespedes. That brought in Jared Walker. And Zach Collier came around to score on an RBI single from Raul Shaw. Pitch to Hibbert. On the ground over to shortstop. Alfredo Reyes fires. Throw to first is high. By the time the first baseman Asuna came down to the bag, Matt Hibbert was safe at first. So now there are runners on first and second with nobody out. We'll have to see if that goes down as a hit. I'd imagine it's another error that'll be charged to the shortstop, Alfredo Reyes, who had time, but it pays. You run that ball out down the line, you're going to earn yourself a base hit from time to time, and that's what happened from Matt Hibbert. If it's not a base hit, he's at least aboard. Nelson Figueroa, who actually pitched a baseball game back on Friday, is out to have a meeting at the mound with the starting pitcher, Matt Solther, who has run into trouble in large part due to his fielders. Get this, Staten Island's been credited with 4 errors so far today. That's a lot. Be interested to see what the RBI count is for the Blue Crabs. 1 RBI credited to Southern Maryland. That's going to come from Mike Falsetti way back in the 3rd inning. Now, I say way back, and it's only an inning ago, but it was probably about a half hour ago when Falsetti got this offense started. First pitch now to Yetzko, who takes a big swing and a miss at a breaking ball on the count 0-1. Yetzko hitting .283. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game so far today. Blue Crabs have 3 runs on 5 hits, have also picked up 4 errors from Staten Island miscues. It's the 0-1 pitch. Oh, it is in there for a called strike. I thought that might be a little bit upstairs. Either way, count 0-2 on Yetzko. Didn't see an initial sign from the home plate umpire, J.B. Torres. Either way, here's the 0-2 upstairs. The count now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Blue Crabs 3, Staten Island 1 with 2 on. It's Raul Shah who singled and reached second on a throwing error. Matt Hibbert who reaches first base on a throwing error by the shortstop Alfredo Reyes. 1-2 pitch, close. It misses just a little low and away in the count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. That pitch was borderline. As a massive shipping container boat moves past us toward center field. 2-2 pitch, that's a little low and away, count 3-2. Now that I see it, looks like there aren't any containers on the boat. Possibly just sort of the outside that would control and carry those containers properly. Here's a 3-2 to Yetzko. Swinging a high pop-up, first base side. It's Ramon Osuna who gets under it and makes the catch for the first out. Yetzko got a little bit under that ball. And there is one away now. In the top of the 4th inning, Blue Crabs already have 2 runs in. For Matt Solter, Staten Island starter, all 3 runs are going down as earned at this point, as the errors are not affecting the runners scoring. The pitch, it's a little outside from Solter. In the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Solter had a terrific start to the season. There was some thought that he might be one of the first pitchers picked up. In his first 4 starts, in his first 6 starts, in fact, he allowed 1 run or fewer in each of those starts. And the 1-0 pitch, a little bit low and away. In the count, 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out in the top of the 4th. Blue Crabs ahead 3-1. But at this point in the year, his ERA at 3.69 coming in, 3.82 after his tough start. 2-0, it's a called strike. That one at the belt, and the count 2-1. Well, the Blue Crabs scored 1 run back in the top of the 3rd inning, a double from Yetzko and a single from Falsetti. Since then, a walk, a single, an error in center field, a single from Shaw. Pitch, this one popped up from Falsetti. It's the second baseman. That's Angel Aguilar who drifts back onto the green outfield turf and makes the catch for the second out. So after 4 consecutive batters reach for the Blue Crabs, along with 2 runs crossing home plate, back-to-back outs from the starter, Matt Solter, who's now gone 3 2/3. Back to the top of the lineup for Southern Maryland. Sundberg, who's 0 for 2, digs in. Sundberg had a terrific homestand. The pitch called strike, count 0-1. Jack Sundberg was 14 for 49 in the homestand. Had 8 walks to go along with it. Nearly a 500 on-base percentage in that stretch. He's seen his batting average climb a lot. Pitch on the ground over to first base. Osuna fields it between the legs. He steps on first base, but Sundberg may have his average up to 260, but he goes down that time. He's 0 for 3 in today's ball game. But the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs scored twice in the top of the 4th inning. They lead this one 3-1. The Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Live from Regency Furniture Stadium, it's the pregame show. Today we're joined by Braxton Lee, who had a 3-for-5 day yesterday, added a home run and an RBI double. Braxton, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, let's jump right into that home run. It's your first home run since last year with the Blue Crabs. What were you trying to do there?
Honestly, I thought I got a bad pitch called on me, and I got 0-2 on 2 fastballs, and I was actually pretty mad. And then I was like, okay, you got to lock it in. And I just got a fastball up and away, and I hit it. And when I hit it, I was like, wow, that's just a pop fly. And then it happened to go out.
So you weren't intending to hit a home run on that pitch?
Nah, with 2 strikes, not at all. I was like, I cannot strike out right here. Just put the ball in play. It's because I was already mad about the at-bat before. So, yeah, there was no intent to do anything but just hit the ball.
Well, you almost had your second home run of the game in your next at-bat. Did you think that ball was getting out?
So that was the same count, 0-2, but I took better swings. And, yes, when I made contact with that one, I was like, oh, man, that's a home run. But it had to hit the top corner of the wall, so it is what it is.
Well, you told me before yesterday's game that when you hit 3, you do better. I think you drove in like 3 RBIs last time. You drive 4 RBIs in. That's Matt Latos right there. Drove 4 RBIs in yesterday.
Well, we welcome you back in the bottom of the 4th inning, 3-1 lead for the Blue Crabs. As the pitch is a little away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. We had a bit of a listen to part of Braxton Lee's interview moments ago. It was from earlier this year. That was included in our playlist. And Braxton Lee having a terrific run of play recently as well, as I hope you enjoyed that shot of the Statue of Liberty. As the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch up and away. Count 2-1 now from Adrian Cook on Rusney Castillo. The former Red Sox, who was one of the most prized prospects out of Cuba in a long time, signed a $70 million deal with Boston as the 2-1 pitch is a little low and away. Count 3-1. And the Red Sox opted to bury his contract after he did not make all that much of a presence at the major league level. They didn't see what they were looking for. And it was a 7-year deal for $72 million. But again, here to start the 4th inning from Adrian Cook. It's the leadoff man getting on. And up until this point, it hasn't really haunted him. As he surrendered just 1 run across the first 3 innings, but in 3 of the first 4 innings of this ball game now, everyone except the first, Adrian Cook has allowed the leadoff man to reach. A walk in the, or a single in the first, a walk in the, or a single in the second, a walk in the third, and a walk here in the 4th. And a 1-0 pitch, that's low and away as well. A check swing, and Ricardo Cespedes managed to hold up. 1 on, nobody out. Count 2 balls and no strikes. On the lefty, Ricardo Cespedes. Not the start that Adrian Cook envisioned, throwing 6 of the first 7 pitches in the inning as balls. 2-0 pitch, line drive foul, third base side. Well, Adrian Cook has been willing to pitch to contact up until this point. And so far, he's only surrendered 2 hits. And 1 run. But 3 walks already through 3+ innings of work. And even with those 3 walks, because batters are swinging early in the count, he's only thrown 39 pitches. So if he can keep this pitch count down, it's possible he goes 6 or 7 or maybe even longer. As the runner goes, line drive, third base side. This one hits the seats about 6 rows deep. And it will send Rusney Castillo back to the bag at first. Here's the pitch on the ground, first base side. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Ricardo Cespedes. Nobody out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Blue Crabs 3, Staten Island 1. Pitch, swinging a high fly ball, center field. This one sends Collier back just a few steps. He makes the catch overhead, and after a lengthy at bat to Ricardo Cespedes, Adrian Cook works back and picks up the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning. This seems to be a consistent theme in this ball game. Staten Island will get base runners. They've had a base runner in every inning so far. The base hits have been hard to come by. And so it results in a situation where Southern Maryland is getting out of these innings. Pitch, check swing. Just a little bit outside in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. One of those massive shipping container ships, again, crossing from center field to left center field. And I think it's just about time for our trivia question after this batter, Andres Noriega, where the count's no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 pitch. Line drive, pretty hard hit, third base side. And the pitch, hard line drive, left field, sends Sundberg back to the warning track. He makes the catch in front of the wall on a hot shot off the bat for the Staten Island FerryHawks as Andres Noriega goes down. Here comes Javier Betancourt. So Noriega goes down via a line drive to left. Here comes Javier Betancourt. Pitch called strike. So let's get to that question now. I've seen a ton of container ships pass by here in the New York Harbor. So our question is, what is the largest container ship in the world? How long is it? And how many containers can the largest container ship in the world hold? What is the name of the ship, and what is the how many containers can the largest container ship in the world hold? Pitch is low in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike now. What is the name of the largest container ship, and how many containers can it hold? That's our trivia question tonight, given all of the ships that are passing by in center field. As Adrian Cook tosses over to first base. Runner on first base, 2 outs, 1-1 pitch, a little bit away. So again, our trivia question, you can comment this in the YouTube chat. What is the name of the largest container ship in the world, largest cargo container ship, and how many shipping containers can it hold? Testing your knowledge of Maritime vessels. Runner goes in the 1-2 pitch on the ground slowly toward third. Yetzko's got to charge in. Tough play. Throw to first is in time to get Javier Betancourt for the final out. Nicely done by Ian Yetzko to finish the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, the Staten Island FerryHawks had the leadoff man on. They couldn't get him past first base as we go to the top of the 5th inning. The Blue Crabs lead this one 3-1. Well, we are ready to go here in the top of the 5th inning. Blue Crabs 3 and Staten Island 1. The first pitch to Michael Wolanski is in there for a called strike on the outside corner. Salter working quickly. Here's the 0-1, and that one swung on and missed. Count 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Pitch, this one, line drive into left center field for a base hit. Well struck off the bat of Wolanski. Takes a long turnaround first base and scampers back to the bag after a leadoff single from the righty. And the Blue Crabs have the leadoff man on here in the top of the 5th. Already have a 3-1 lead. And here comes Braxton Lee, who surprisingly is 0 for 2 today. Lee comes into this one with a 5-game hitting streak and an outstanding homestand. His last series went 6 for 10 with 3 triples and 4 RBIs. He set the Atlantic League record for the most triples in a ball game with 3. Runner on first base, no outs. Pitch is a little low in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. This ball game was scoreless going into the 3rd when Southern Maryland scored the first run of the ball game. 1-0, that's upstairs. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Lee 0 for 2. The Blue Crabs have 6 hits today. And Jack Sundberg is 0 for 3, and 2 of the guys who are playing their best baseball right now. As Matt Salter not a fan of a couple of baseballs that he's now tossing over to the side. When you allow 3 runs on 6 hits across 4 innings, well, it makes sense that you might not be a fan of a few baseballs that you're getting. Maybe it's the baseball's fault. It's not your fault, it's the baseball's. 2-0, big wave and a miss, off speed pitch, and Braxton Lee finds himself ahead of it. Well, so far in today's ball game, it's some of the less likely forces that have helped the Blue Crabs. We'll get there in a moment. Solter fires over to first to check on Wolanski. And while Wolanski might be someone you'd think of as likely to get a couple of hits, he has been slumping recently. But 2 for 3 in today's ball game. Collier 1 for 2. But some of the names that we don't think of as much and haven't seen as much of: Raul Shaw with a base hit, Mike Falsetti with a hit, and Ian Yetzko, who's hit rather well throughout the year but hasn't received as many at-bats. He's also got a base hit today. 2-1 pitch is low and away, count 3-1. Meanwhile, some of the guys you might think of as having hits: Sundberg, Lee, Walker. Hibbert's played well recently. They're all without hits. Offering to Braxton Lee is upstairs and inside. That was a 3-1, and it's ball 4. So runners on first and second now with nobody out. So Braxton Lee doesn't get a hit, but he does get a walk, as Matt Solter is yet to strike out a batter either. So let's get this straight now. Solter has pitched 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 2 walks now, no strikeouts. Cook, 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, no strikeouts. So the 2 pitchers have combined to pitch 8 innings and not strike out a single batter. That's incredible. First pitch now to Jared Walker on the outside corner. It's actually away in the count, 1-0. One-0 pitch upstairs and inside. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Blue Crabs ahead by 2 in the top of the 5th. Pitch. That's inside. Count 3 balls and no strikes. All of a sudden, it appears as though Matt Solter has lost the strike zone. Oh, did he call that a strike? I never saw him give the strike call, and looked a little inside. Well, I guess the count is 2-1. Pitch fouled back. Well, there's certainly a strike now. The question is it 2-2 or is it 3-1? Our TrackMan Game Day Live app has it as the first 3 pitches were balls, but maybe one of them has now reversed to a strike. So no one's really quite sure what the count was. I was sure it was 2-0, and the 2-0 pitch was inside, and the count was 3-0. But all of a sudden, the outfield scoreboard says 2-2. And our Game Day app says something similar. The 2-2 pitch is up and away. Now it's 3-2. As the pitch calling from our home plate umpire, JB Torres, has been a little tough to see. His strike call is not all that emphatic, so it's tough for me to see up here in the booth. So I'm just sort of left on body language from the home plate umpire. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jared Walker goes down on a pitch low in the dirt. And there is one away. So that is the first strikeout of the ball game. If you were wondering, has there ever been a Major League Baseball game where there are no strikeouts? The answer is yes, way back in 1924. First pitch a little bit low and away now to Zach Collier. Count 1-0. Blue Crabs ahead by 2. Still 2 on. With 1 out. 1-0. That's a called strike. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now. After the strikeout to Jared Walker. So a single from Michael Wolanski got things started in the top of the fifth. A walk from Braxton Lee, a strikeout to Jared Walker. And here is Zach Collier. Pitch, line drive. This one well struck to right center. Long run. It's the center fielder. That's Ricardo Cespedes on the run. He makes the catch. That one was tailor-made for the gap in right center field. But hanging up just a little too long as Ricardo Cespedes managed to track it down. And there are two away. Advancing from second to third, it's Michael Wolanski. So there are runners on the corners now with 2 outs. I could see Braxton Lee trying to take off for second base with 2 outs, as I would not expect Andres Noriega to try to throw down a second, given you've got a speedy runner in Lee, and then you can risk, of course, Michael Wolanski coming home and scoring from third base. Pitch, called strike on Raul Shah, and the count 0-1. Also would take the force out at second out of the equation. Count no balls and 1 strike. Oh, 1. That's a little upstairs and outside. Count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Glad you could join us on a Friday evening in New York City. 1-1 pitch. That's low and away. Count 2 balls and a strike now on Raul Shah. In the 3rd inning, the Blue Crabs struck first. Ian Yetzko doubled. Then Mike Falsetti brought him in on an RBI single to right. From there, the Staten Island FerryHawks tied it at 1. In the bottom of the 3rd, the Blue Crabs added 2 runs in the top of the 4th. Walker and Collier scored. RBI single from Raul Shah. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on the righty Shah. Had a chance to catch up with Raul Shah before today's ball game. Talked about some of the adjustments he's making at the plate. 2-2 pitch, just a little low and away. Count 3-2. He's saying it's a little less robotic up there. Feels like he's seeing the ball well after a very tough month of July. And he said, you know, about some of those tougher times, sometimes over the course of a long season, you go back to some of the bad habits you had in the past. Here's the 3-2. Hard ground ball through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Wolanski scores from first to third. It's Braxton Lee. And the Blue Crabs have taken a 4-1 lead on an RBI single from Raul Shah. It scores Michael Wolanski from third, and the Blue Crabs have put up 4 runs against Matt Salter. For Raul Shah, it's his 2nd hit of the game. He drives in his 2nd run. And Braxton Lee from first to third. Well, here comes Matt Hibbert. Just had his 34th birthday a couple of days ago. Salter set. First pitch called strike. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Well, we were here in Staten Island a little more than a month ago, about a month and a half ago at this point. Toward the end of the first half, the Blue Crabs were looking to clinch the first half at the time. 0-1 pitch, a little bit low in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Southern Maryland won just 1 of the 3 games. And as a result, the Blue Crabs did not clinch here at the field. Instead, clinched on the bus ride home after the Long Island Ducks lost their ball game after being ahead over the High Point Rockers, who were red hot at the time. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, count 1-2. Ducks were behind. They were ahead, I beg your pardon, and then High Point came back and won that ball game. And that allowed the Blue Crabs to finally clinch that first half playoff berth. 1-2 offering upstairs. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hibbert. Ian Yetzko on deck. He'll be followed by Mike Falsetti. Shaw on first, over at third base. It's Braxton Lee with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Blue Crabs have added another run on an RBI single from Raul Shaw. 2-2 pitch, a little bit up, count 3-2 on Matt Hibbert. The pitch count starting to rise now for Matt Solter, who just threw his 90th pitch of the evening across 4 2/3. No action right now in the FerryHawks bullpen. One of those situations where for Matt Solter, look at there in just a moment. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. If he had run into a little more trouble without this double hook designated hitter, he might have been taken out of the ball game, but instead he works a strikeout on Matt Hibbert and retires the side in the top of the 5th inning. Blue Crabs score 1, they strand 2 at the end of 4.5. We're halfway through here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark. When we come back, it's the bottom of the 5th inning. Blue Crabs ahead by 3.
Are you in the market for a new roof? Well, give William Richmond Inc. a call and get serviced by Southern Maryland's premier roofing contractor. Locally owned and operated, William Richmond Inc. is licensed, bonded, and insured, and has a 5-star rating on HomeAdvisor. They care about their work almost as much as they care about your home. Call 443-432-3426 today for a free estimate, or go to williamrichmondinc.com. Don't forget to mention the Blue Crabs and save 10% on any service.
Well, an RBI single in the top of the 5th inning has given the Blue Crabs a 4-1 lead as Adrian Cook goes back to the mound for his 5th inning of work. The Blue Crabs 4 and the Staten Island FerryHawks 1. First pitch to Ramon Osuna is a little bit outside in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. Osuna hitting just 183 on the season. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's away in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. In the background, you might be able to hear the Staten Island Ferry horn going off. That's why the FerryHawks are aptly named after such a ferry, and not sure if there are any hawks around per se. As the pitch, swing and a miss. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. We got to get these counts right here, and I'm getting conflicting counts everywhere. Pitch on the ground over to third. Yetzko's got trouble with it, and Osuna will reach. And that's got to go down as an error, I'd imagine, on Yetzko. Thought about throwing it before he actually had it in his glove. As Alfredo Reyes will come to the plate. Well, Adrian Cook's been throwing some more strikes, but here in the 5th inning, not to his fault, but to the fault of Blue Crabs third baseman Ian Yetzko. There is that's got to go down as an error. It is going to go down as an error, but it's the 4th time in the first 5 innings, and the 4th consecutive inning at that Staten Island's had the leadoff man on. Though again, not Adrian Cook's direct responsibility. Pitch bunted down the third base side, but it's in foul territory. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Well, Adrian Cook with a real opportunity to make it back-to-back strong starts. Last time out, 6 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned, and so far 5 innings, or 4 1/3 innings, 4 innings I should say, and just 1 earned run. But there is a runner on first base with nobody out. 0-1 pitch fouled back. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And the only time when the leadoff man didn't reach was back in the bottom of the 1st inning when he walked Angel Aguilar with 2 outs. We got Duplantis to start the ball game on a fly out to left. Alfredo Reyes, the 9-hitter at the plate. Runner goes in the 0-2, popped it up foul, first base side, and the count remains 0-2. Osuna running on the pitch yet again. He ran on a pitch back in the 3rd inning when he reached on a walk and later came around to score on the RBI single from Dilson Herrera. For the FerryHawks, 1 run on 2 hits. They have reached via 3 walks, but Adrian Cook still searching for that first strikeout. Pitch is low. Throw down to first base, goes into right field. Hibbert goes over to collect. He fires to second. It's going to be late as Osuna advances from first to second on a snap throw from Ryan Haug. It was a little bit low. I'm not sure that Jared Walker was looking for it or ready for it. Either way, it would have been tough for him to get there. I'm not sure it would have done much good as far as keeping Osuna on the bag. And after an error by the third baseman Yetzko to allow Osuna to get to first base, it's a throwing error by the catcher Mike Falsetti that allows Osuna to take second. Runner on second base, nobody out. Adrian Cook, the 1-2. Fouled back yet again. That's the 5th pitch of the at-bat. This has been a sloppy ball game. But funny enough, all 5 runs have gone down as earned runs against the starters. For Solter, I beg your pardon, that's since been changed. Last time I looked, they had him at 4 innings, 3 runs, 3 earned. Now 5 innings, 4 runs, 2 earned. So a scoring change from the 4th inning. Pitch, ground ball right back to the mound. Cook looks back at the runner. He fires to first to get the speedy Reyes, who is running it out down the first base line. Either way, Ramon Osuna has to stay at second base. As there's a runner on second base with 1 away for Antoine Duplantis. Duplantis 0 for 2 today. He flied out to left, he flied out to center. It just makes sense for him to fly out to right. Duplantis came in hitting .308 on the year. And the first pitch is low and in, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on Duplantis. Well, if you ever have a chance to come out to Staten Island to watch a baseball game, I'd highly recommend it. Blue Crabs, of course, in town for the next 3 games, or next 2 days, I guess I should say, and 3 games in total. As the 1-0 pitch is top foul, third base side, 1 away. 1 ball and 1 strike on Duplantis. 4-1 Blue Crabs lead. Ramon Osuna leads off of second base. And a Blue Crabs will return to Staten Island very late in the season as part of that final 12-game road trip. And the pitch, that one grounded foul over toward the Blue Crabs bullpen. As Andres Briseño trying to pick that ball up. Blue Crabs play Staten Island next month on September 6th, 7th, and 8th. Blue Crabs fans, if you ever come to one of these road ball games and you'd like to introduce yourself, please come on by. I'd love to hear from you all. 1-2 pitch, a little bit low in the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And we've had quite a few of you on the broadcast as well. We had Wes Mumper, the Blue Crabs visiting clubhouse manager on the broadcast. Was back in Lancaster. So if you'd like to come on and join us for an inning, be happy to have you. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Line drive right at the second baseman, Raul Shah. He flips to second and he doubles off Osuna. Oh, a terrific play by Raul Shah. The recognition not only to make the catch, but to fire to the shortstop Wolanski after Osuna had a little bit too large of a lead at second base. So Antoine Duplantis lines into a double play to end the bottom of the 5th inning. Again, Adrian Cook allows the leadoff man to reach, but exits the inning unscathed. It's the Blue Crabs 4, Staten Island 1 as we go to the top of the 6th inning on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
At Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, mortgages are what they do, not who they are. Fairway Mortgage Corporation is a proud partner of the American Warrior Initiative. A key part of this initiative is to educate, encourage, and inspire Americans to give back to our military. Visit their website at www.americanwarriorinitiative.com for more details. Our military fought to protect the American dream. Let's help them live it.
We join you back in the top of the 6th inning. The first pitch to Yetzko was low, and now the 1-0 pitch is away in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 4-1 lead over the Staten Island FerryHawks. 2-0 pitch, wave and a miss from Yetzko as he chases a pitch off the outside corner. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Give you the numbers on both Adrian Cook and Matt Solter as he's back out there to start the 6th inning. Pitch, foul ball off the catcher. That's Andres Noriega's mask. He's all right as the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Ian Yetzko. Unfortunately, the TrackMan not working for the Staten Island FerryHawks. We don't have any numbers as far as exit velocity, either pitcher's velocity, any of those numbers tonight. I'd love to have them for you, but unfortunately they're just not available. Traditionally, Matt Salter throws in the upper 80s, touches 90 or 91. Pitch to Yetzko, fouled off, first base side, out of play. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Blue Crabs mixing around the infielders today. 2-2 offering, it's upstairs. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes on Yetzko. 4-1 Blue Crabs. It was traditionally this season, it's been Wilansky at second base, at shortstop Michael Baca, and at third base Alex Crosby. 3-2 pitch, popped it up in the infield. It is the catcher Noriega who calls everyone else off. Oh, and it's going to drop. Oh, and Yetzko now takes off for second base. That ball dropped in the infield because nobody called it. It might go down as a base hit. It might go down as an error against Noriega. I think either one would be reasonable. No one touched the ball. And now what's going on here? I'm not quite sure what's going on. He's being called back to the plate. Was that pitch called off? I'm honestly not quite sure. I think Yetzko thought he had himself a cheap single. Well, I guess maybe they call it time. I'm sort of at a loss as to why he's coming back to the plate after all this. 3-2 pitch. This one on the ground towards shortstop. Alfredo Reyes fields and fires. It's in time to get Yetzko. So this one looked like he had a pop-up base hit. Instead, it is a ground out to shortstop, and there is one away. A bizarre at bat to Ian Yetzko. And here comes Mike Falsetti, the catcher. In just 194 this year. Pitch, swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. Yeah, Falsetti's numbers are way up from where they were earlier this year, though, when across his first 15 at-bats did not have a hit. Pitch, line drive, pretty hard hit, third base side, and the count 0-2. Delivery. That's low. Count 1-2. Always said we'd take you through some of the numbers for both pitchers so far in this ball game in the top of the 6th inning. Well, Cook's gone 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. He has walked 3, thrown 63 pitches. His pitch, this one foul back overhead. This one toward the sweet level. And the count remains 1-2. One-two offering, that's low. Count 2-2, and fans applauding. I'm not quite sure what. Someone must have gotten a ball down below in front of a pretty solid crowd. 2-2 pitch, check swing, the motion down to first base, and the first base umpire Joe Cruz said no, he didn't go around, and the count's now full at 3-2. So now for Matt Salter, he's thrown 104 pitches. 3-2, popped up, foul back behind home plate. And meanwhile, for the Blue Crabs, or for Matt Salter, I should say, 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, compared to Cook, who has just allowed 1 run on 2 hits. Pitch to Falsetti, line drive, pretty well struck to right, but Rusty Castillo is there with plenty of time to make the catch for the second out. 2 up and 2 down on the top of the 6th for Jack Sundberg.
Somebody say, hey! Somebody say, oh!
We got this AO chant going. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. I'm sure you could have caught that over the crowd microphone. Somebody say A, somebody say O, and the pitch to Sundberg. Oh, that's a called strike, or a swinging strike, I guess, as he technically went around. The count 0-1 on a check swing. Pitch to Sundberg. This ball looks like it's tailor-made up the middle, and it gets through for a base hit. Wasn't the hardest hit ball today, but it squeaks through. A seeing eye single up the middle, just past the reach of Salter. And you'd have to think that Matt Salter's evening may be coming to a close as Jack Sundberg picks up his first hit of the day. He's back up north of 260 with his batting average this year. Came in at 262, back to 261 after he's 1 for 4 so far here on the top of the 6th. Glad you could join us for this evening's broadcast. We're going to give you the answer to our trivia question. Let's see if we have any answers so far. Our pitch is a called strike. Throw to second, not quite in time as Sundberg took off. And he steals second base successfully. A close play and a strong throw from Andres Noriega. Now again, I saw that was a ball. It looked a little bit low to me. I didn't see a call from the home plate umpire, J.B. Torres. But now it looks like there's a strike up on the board. I will tell you, Torres has been, I don't know if he's had a ton of bad calls per se, as the 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed, but he hasn't been very deliberate in his motion. He hasn't been all that loud or assertive in his tone. So I have a really tough time figuring out what he's actually calling here. 0-2 pitch. That's called strike 3. Michael Wolanski looks at a pitch that just barely clips the outer edge. He's not a big fan of the call, but he goes down looking nonetheless to end the top of the 6th inning. The Blue Crabs still have a 3-run lead. They score none, they strand 1. At the end of 5.5, it's the Blue Crabs 4. It's the Staten Island FerryHawks 1 on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, welcome back. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Austin Rooney, happy to have you with us as Dilson Herrera steps in. The Blue Crabs 4 and the FerryHawks 1. First pitch, I believe that was a called strike from the home plate umpire. That's J.B. Torres. Part of the issue is that his strike call is directly in front of him, and I can't really see in front of him. 0-1 pitch called swinging strike, I should say, at a breaking ball on the count 0-2. As the wind is starting to pick up here on Staten Island. 0-2 pitch from Cook. Pop-up foul, first base side, and the count 0-2 it remains. Well, I have received word from Blaine Pilkerton that he would like me to repeat the trivia question. So our trivia question is, given all the container ships passing by, what's the name of the largest container ship in the world, and how many containers can that ship hold? Pitch on the ground over to shortstop. Fielded on the forehand by Wolanski. Fires to first. It's in time, and there's one away. Oh, nicely done as Dilson Herrera runs pretty well down that first base line.
Now batting my guy at second base, number 6, Angel Aguilar.
As Angel Aguilar comes to the plate. The Herrera followed by Aguilar and Castillo. So how many shipping containers does the largest container ship hold? Well, Wes Mumper came in and he knocked it out of the park. As the first pitch, swinging strike, and the count 0-1 on Angel Aguilar. The check swing, and he went around. Wes Mumper says the Ever Ace, almost 24,000 container units. Evergreen Shipping has a number of very large container ships. 0-1. Up and in. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. So Tom Jones says that he saw it as well, and he says it doesn't say exactly how many containers, but it's one huge boat, unless 24,000 is the units, which it is. And Wes Mumper came in and said the newly completed Ever A Lot can hold just over 24,000 units, also part of that Evergreen Shipping. A few more shout outs to give along the way here. We'll get there in just a moment. 2-1 pitch upcoming now to Angel Aguilar. And that pitch is low, and the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Jacob Dunaway says he's watching from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He says Wes Mumper is the best visiting clubby in the league. 3-1 pitch, a little bit away. It's ball 4. And Angel Aguilar aboard. Jacob Dunaway, Wes Mumper responds. He says, Jacob, sometimes I'm not so sure, but he tries, and he does very well. Wes Mumper's great. We always love to see him on the broadcast when he comments, either in the YouTube chat or he joined us for an inning when we were in Lancaster. Dublin Dave says, I'm from Ireland. What's the trivia question? We just went over the trivia moments ago. Pitch, called strike on the outside corner to Rusney Castillo. With 1 away, and the count, no balls and 1 strike on the former Red Sox. A little low. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. We had Blaine Pilkerton, our official scorer, who also messaged me about the trivia question. Again, given all the container ships passing by, what's the name of the largest container ship in the world, and how many containers can it hold? And Wes Mumper came to the rescue. Ever A Lot can hold just over 24,000 units. It's a brand new ship. As the 1-1 pitch is a called strike, count 1-2. Tonight, the start time was 7 p.m. Not quite sure why it wasn't a 6:30 p.m., but it was 7. I tried to ask, and no one really seemed to have the answer. 1-2 pitch on the ground over to shortstop. Wolanski fields it. He fires to second. It's a close play. Throw to first in plenty of time. Almost didn't get the out at second. Either way, it's a 6-4-3 double play as Rusney Castillo decided to walk to second and to walk to first as opposed to run to first. And so that ends the inning. Well, Staten Island Strand's done as Adrian Cook faces the minimum in the top of the 6th inning. As the Blue Crabs lead this ball game 4-1 as we go to the top of the 7th inning on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
go.
We are underway in the top of the 7th inning. First pitch is in there for a strike on Braxton Lee. Now the 0-1 offering is fouled off third base side. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, if you told me that Matt Solter was coming out for the top of the 7th inning, I probably would have said there's no chance. But he is out here as the 0-2 pitch is low, count 1-2. Solter had thrown 112 pitches across 6 innings, and they go back to him. 1-2 up and in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's one thing if you've thrown 100 and you go back to a guy, but 112? 2-2 pitch to Lee. Slow and away. I just can't imagine you're getting the same production out of a guy when he's already thrown 112 pitches. This is number 118. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, how about that? He attacks the lefty Braxton Lee, has a full count, and manages to strike him out. So 1 away. Give you an idea of how many pitches he's thrown this year across a few different starts. Through 118 at Long Island, that was back on June 3rd, through 119 against York. That was his 118th pitch. Here's number 119. It's low and in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, for Matt Solter, it is a new season high for the most pitches thrown in a ball game. As the 1-0 pitch, that's a little bit upstairs and inside, count 2-0. So after striking out Braxton Lee, and the wind really picking up now, he's fallen back behind in the count 2-0. Solter does work very quickly. Gets a sign from Noriega and just goes. 1 out, 4-1 Blue Crabs. 2-0 pitch, that's a called strike. Comes into the belt, the count 2-1. And the 2-1, a little bit inside, count 3-1 as part of our YouTube chat. Blaine Pilkerton gives me the thumbs up. And Dennis Moore says that the largest shipping container or container ship is over at Possum Point Large. It's part of the Possum Point barge, in fact. It holds 2 containers. I'd love to see that one. I have a feeling there's a couple larger than that, Dennis, but I always appreciate it. 3-1 pitch, a little bit up and in on Jared Walker, and that's ball 4. And that's going to do it for Matt Solter. 123 pitches as he ends up walking Jared Walker to put a runner on first base in the top of the 7th. Blue Crabs 4, Staten Island 1. As the Staten Island FerryHawks are going to make the call to the bullpen as manager Edgardo Alfonso takes the ball from Matt Solter, and he makes the move to the pen. We'll break down all the numbers on the new pitcher when we come back. It's 4-1 Blue Crabs, runner on first base with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Don't go anywhere. Well, the new pitcher into the ball game with the Blue Crabs ahead 4-1. It's Vin Aiello who deals his first pitch away for ball one. The count 1-0. Blue Crabs 4, the Staten Island FerryHawks 1. As Vin Aiello enters this ball game, and it's been a tough go for the righty thus far. 1-0 pitch. Upcoming on Zach Collier. Here's the offering. Big swing and a miss. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Aiello in his first year in the Atlantic League. Pitched 4 games in Winston-Salem before needing Tommy John surgery. Spent 3 years in the Marlins organization as high as AA. After being drafted in the 28th round, pitch, swinging a high pop-up towards center field. And Walker's got to get back to the bag as the catch is made out in center. Throw back to first base is wild over the first baseman's head. Now Noriega picks it up, throws it to second. Throw is not quite in time to get Walker, who now goes from first base to second base after the overthrow from the center fielder, Ricardo Cespedes. So let's just break this all down once more. Collier popped one up. Walker was going on the pitch, and he had to run back to the bag awfully quickly because he was well off the base when Cespedes made the catch, and Cespedes' throw back to first was over his head. So Walker went back to the bag and then went back to second base. And that's where he stands with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Well, here comes Raul Shah. Back in this inning, a strikeout from Lee, a walk to Walker. Second walk of the ball game for the fly out to center field, where Walker advanced to second. Pitch to Raul Shah, check swing, he went around. Raul Shah, a right-handed hitter, be followed by Matt Hibbert if necessary here in the top of the 7th. Blue Crabs have a 3-run lead. Pitch, that's low and away. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, the Blue Crabs have a 4-1 lead after they scored 1 run in the 3rd. They added 2 more in the 4th inning and tacked on an insurance run in the 5th. That's where we stand a couple innings later here in the 7th. Runner in scoring position, though. 5 errors for Staten Island today. Pitch, called strike, count 1 and 2. And in some sense, I think the 5 errors might be a little much. I think sometimes they're reaching to give errors on plays where maybe they aren't deserved to be errors, but I can't say any of these 5 are bad calls per se. 1-2. It's low in the count, 2 and 2 on Raul Shah, who's 2 for 3 in today's ball game. So that overthrow from Cespedes, that's an error. Ground ball to shortstop, the throw that was a little bit high. Instead of Hibbert getting a hit, that's an error. A throw to the plate that was overthrown from left field to right field that allowed a base runner to advance. That goes down as an error. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Some of these could be borderline calls. You could say that the runner just advanced on the throw without giving an error, but the error is given consistently here in Staten Island. Either way, the strikeout to Raul Shah ends the inning. Vin Aiello comes in and gets a couple of outs where they're needed. And that ends the top of the 7th. We go to the 7th inning stretch here in Staten Island. It's the Blue Crabs who still have a 3-run lead over the Staten Island FerryHawks. Don't go anywhere.
This is Braxton Lee, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Are you in the market for a new roof? Well, give William Richmond Inc. a call and get serviced by Southern Maryland's premier roofing contractor. Locally owned and operated, William Richmond Inc. is licensed, bonded, and insured, and has a 5-star rating on HomeAdvisor. They care about their work almost as much as they care about your home. Call 443-432-3426 today for a free estimate, or go to williamrichmondinc.com. Don't forget to mention the Blue Crabs and save 10% on any service.
Well, Adrian Cook is back out there for the bottom of the 7th inning. Ricardo Cespedes digs in from the left side. 5, 6, and 7 to the plate. The first pitch is up and away, and the count 1-0. Cespedes hitting .270 on the year, followed by Noriega, who's at .231, and Javier Betancourt at .241. The batting averages for those three batters. Blue Crabs have some action in the bullpen as the pitch runs low and in, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Alcis Herrera, who has only appeared in 1 game so far for the Blue Crabs. 2-0 pitch up and away, and the count 3 balls and no strikes. Herrera still pretty fresh. He came to the Blue Crabs after playing in Mexico for a short while. 3-0 delivery. It's in there for a called strike. Count 3-1 now on Ricardo Cespedes. Blue Crabs ahead 4-1. As part of this large crowd here in Staten Island is cleared out, but still a sizable group on hand. 3-1 pitch up and away. It's ball 4. Back to the point on Alcis Herrera. So he pitched recently in Mexico before the Blue Crabs picked him up. And now Darryl Thompson out to the mound to have a quick conversation with Adrian Cook. Well, Cook's gone 6 innings, hasn't struck out a batter. He's now walked 4. He has allowed only 2 hits, but all things considered, you'd have to be happy with what you've seen from Cook tonight. I beg your pardon, 5 walks now for the righty Adrian Cook. And control's been an issue for him throughout the year, but the hits for now have stayed down for the most part. Just 2 hits tonight across 6 innings. Blue Crabs will be going with Adrian Cook, followed by Darryl Thompson and Alex Merrithew. Those are the 3 expected to start here against Staten Island. Runner on first base, no out. Pitch, called strike. That one clips the outside corner on Noriega. Blue Crabs 4, Staten Island 1. On what's turned into a very windy evening in New York. Wind howling out toward the first base side from left to right. Pitch, hard line drive, third base side, foul. Count 0-2. I think for the most part, this is going to help pitchers if it does anything. Might pull a couple extra balls foul to the right field side. If you're pulling a ball to the left side, it's probably getting down one way or another. If you hit the ball the other way as a right-handed hitter, the wind might get under it a little bit and give him an opportunity to get that ball foul, but I don't think it's going to play a major difference one way or another. Pitch, ground ball right to third. Yetzko knocks it down, throw to second's high. It goes into right field. And now from second to third goes the leadoff man in the inning. That's Ricardo Cespedes. So runners on the corners and nobody out. Ian Yetzko has had some trouble in the field tonight. It's his second error of the game, as He knocked the ball down at first, didn't field it cleanly. And while the bat really heating up for Yetzko, playing the field has been suspect over at third base. And it might just be one of those situations where he's better suited at second. That was a rather routine ground ball for Yetzko. Runners on the corners, and nobody out. We'll have to wait the official ruling on the play from Noriega, and we'll give it to you momentarily. As Javier Betancourt steps in and represents the tying run of the plate after back-to-back errors. Pitch that's low. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Well, glad you could join us. This ball game's all of a sudden gotten awfully exciting. The tying run, Betancourt to the plate. Pitch, runner was going from first to second, but it squibbed foul to the first base side. And the count of ball and a strike. Still nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. No runs in quite yet. So after it was Ricardo Cespedes, a reach on the walk. Andres Noriega gets on via an error by the third baseman, Ian Yetzko. Pitch, swing and a miss, throw down a second. Shaw recognizes the thrower, comes to the plate, throw to the plate's not in time. Oh, a double steal. Shaw came in, he fired to the plate right after Falsetti threw down a second for the double steal. And Falsetti applied the tag. It was well executed defensively. Just an even better play by the FerryHawks. As Ricardo Cespedes comes to the plate after Andres Noriega steals second base, I should say. And looks like that's going to be the end of the road this evening. Unless he has an issue with the call of the plate. As Stan Clyburn comes out to have a quick word with the home plate umpire, J.B. Torres. And it looks as though the Blue Crabs starter Adrian Cook's going to remain in this ball game. It's 4-2. Cook has allowed 2 runs, though just 1 earned. One-two pitch, line drive through the right side. It's a base hit. Stop sign goes up at third base as Hibbert throws in, and a base hit from Javier Betancourt, and things starting to unravel here in the 7th. Well, not really due to the pitching of Adrian Cook. He did walk a batter, but things really went south once the error came from Yetzko, and then instead of having a runner on first base with 1 out, you've got runners on the corners with nobody out, and the base hit to right, it scores a run after the double steal as well, and that's going to do it. Stan Clyburn walks out to the mound. He's going to make the call to the bullpen. A tying run on first. Go-ahead run at the plate for Staten Island. It's a 4-2 ball game. Alcis Herrera enters when we come back. Still nobody out. And the bottom of the 7th inning. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, the Blue Crabs have a new pitcher, and the FerryHawks have a pinch hitter. As the FerryHawks will send a player who's not listed on this roster card to the plate. Doesn't make matters easy. Either way, it's Alcis Herrera who enters. The batter is Christopher Cespedes, who is not listed on this. Pitch, ground ball to third, throw to second for one, back on to first, it's not in time. It's going to score a run as the run comes in from third base. As Javier Betancourt, I beg your pardon, Andres Noriega scores from third. It is now a 4-3 ball game. Staten Island's got 2 runs back here. There's now 1 away and a runner on first base as Christopher Cespedes rounds out to third to get the lead out at second base. And Cespedes is listed as number 40. He's wearing number 29. And here comes Alfredo Reyes, the 9-hitter, after Christopher Cespedes pinch hit for Ramon Osuna. And the pitch, ground ball foul. Reyes to be followed by Antoine Duplantis. For Staten Island, pitch, big wave and a miss from Alfredo Reyes. At this point, Cook's outing is for all intents and purposes over. Although he is still technically responsible for the runner on first base. For now, the 3 runs are earned, but that will change should Herrera get out of this inning more easily. Surprised that Noriega's run is earned at all, or Cespedes's, I should say. Pitch, that's low and away. In the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I say that because Cespedes should have been out at second base as part of the fielder's choice. Unless, I have a hard time believing this, they called the error on Yetzko merely as a throwing error and that everybody would have been safe nonetheless. I don't think that sounds very reasonable. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Alfredo Reyes goes down via a strikeout as Alcis Herrera drops the breaking ball and swings and misses at strike 3. And it's back to the top of the lineup for Staten Island as Antoine Duplantis, who's hitting .304 on the year, comes to the plate. Staten Island down by just 1 now. After they've gotten 2 runs back, a walk, an error, a double steal to score a run. And then Alfredo Reyes, our big reporter, it's Christopher Cespedes who comes through, a pitch, ground ball. This one's going to go all the way through the hole. No play at second base. It is an infield single for Antoine Duplantis as it goes over toward the hole between shortstop and third base. It was well played by the Blue Crabs shortstop Michael Wolanski as he tried to flip to second, but not in time to get the runner. And here comes Dilson Herrera. Tying run in scoring position now for Staten Island. The go-ahead run on base. It's a 4-3 game as Dilson Herrera, who's hitting .239 on the year, digs in. Alcis Herrera. Herrera to Herrera. Pitch low in the count, 1-0. Lefty versus the righty. Up until this point, you really can't say anything negative about what Herrera's done. The inherited runner scored from third base. The infield single over toward the shortstop, Michael Wolanski, who had no play on that ball. Nothing's been all that hard hit, though. 1-0 pitch. on the ground. That ball deflects past the glove of Yetzko. They're going to wave him around third. The throw to the plate is a good one, but it gets past the catcher Falsetti. It ties the game. Runners on second and third with 2 outs as Dilson Herrera comes through with an RBI single into left. Oh, what a play. Big time hit and a big time moment in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hard hit ground ball from Dilson Herrera, deflects off the glove of Ian Yetzko and into left field. It scores the runner from second base, Christopher Cespedes. And meanwhile, Duplantis to third and Herrera to second on the throw. Well, at the end of the night here, Cook might be charged with 4 runs, despite the fact he pitched really quite well tonight. That's one of the issues with the inherited runners rules and so many other rules regarding errors and a lot of the complex nature of these plays. I'd hope that's going to be amended because I don't think he should be charged with 4 earned runs. Maybe 2 earned runs, but not 4. Went 6+ innings, 3 hits. He did walk 5. That was the main issue for him tonight, but he really kept damage to a minimum throughout. The pitch, that's low in the dirt, and the count 1-0 on Angel Aguilar, who bats from the right side. There are now 2 away, but this ball game's now tied at 4. 4-4 as we hit the bottom of the 8th inning. Alcis Herrera has allowed a couple of singles, infield single and a hard hit single through the left side. 1-0 pitch, that's away, count 2-0 on Herrera, or from Herrera on Aguilar. And let's go FerryHawks chant start to rise in volume here at Staten Island University Hospital Ballpark. We hit 9:30 in the evening. This ball game was flying for the first 3 innings. Played 3 innings over just 40 minutes. The last 3.5 innings have taken nearly 2 hours. Herrera from second, Duplantis on third with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. This ball game level at 4. 2-0 to Aguilar, line drive, right field, base hit. 1 run scores, they wave around the second run, he scores, the throw to second, that's gonna be in time, but not before the FerryHawks score 2 and lead this ball game 6-4. A 2 RBI single from Angel Aguilar, and the FerryHawks put together a 5-run 7th and lead this ball game 6-4. Things get out of hand for the Blue Crabs in the bottom of the 7th inning as the FerryHawks rack up 4 hits. There was an error involved, and at the end of all of it, the Blue Crabs now trail 6-4. Southern Maryland needs the bats to get going in the 8th and 9th. We'll see if they can get that when we come back. Well, the first pitch now to Matt Hibbert on the ground to second. It's a pretty quick flip to first. And there's one away in the top of the 8th inning as this ball game's been turned on its head. As Ian Yetzko comes to the plate, Blue Crabs had a 4-1 lead going into the 7th. They now trail 6-4. Dilson Herrera entered the ball game. He struggled mightily. As the wind continues to fly violently out there in right field, pitch called strike on Yetzko. It's a little low, but it's a called strike nonetheless. As Ian Yetzko waves the bat behind his helmet. Here's the 0-1. Oh, check swinging went around though, and the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And the 0-2 pitch, check swing, did he go? No, he did not, according to the first base umpire, Joe Cruz. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Yetzko. Will be followed by Mike Falsetti. Falsetti the only option at catcher right now. As the Blue Crabs starter Ryan Haug still dealing with a couple of issues with his foot. He tries to get back on the mend. Two balls and 2 strikes to Yetzko after the 1-2 was away. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tip, I beg your pardon. Looks like Yetzko's going to stay alive as he got a little bit of a piece of it. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not a lot of it, but enough to stay alive as Dario Polanco now warms up in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Blue Crabs have not gone to their primary pieces very much recently at all. 2-2 pitches away, count 3-2. It's been a while since we've seen Patrick Baker. Nick Wells getting back and ready to play, and Andres Briseño's been only playing a couple of times a week more recently. Count 3-2 now on Yetzko. Here's the pitch. That's away. It's ball 4. So Yetzko reaches via a walk. He's 1 for 3. He doubled and scored a run, but it's Mike Falsetti who's going to come to the plate. The thought is Joe DeLuca is close, but probably not there yet. It's possible he's going to play this weekend. Otherwise, probably had to wait till Gastonia, but possibility for a pinch hit appearance for DeLuca. As the pitch called strike in the count 0-1 as he was working through an oblique injury for a little while. And it's been more than 3 weeks since he last played. An important cog in that Blue Crabs lineup. 0-1 pitch to Falsetti's low in the dirt in the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Yetzko reached on a walk. He's on first base. The tying run at the plate for the Blue Crabs and Mike Falsetti. I'll go back to the top of the lineup with Jack Sundberg to follow. Pitch up and away. Count 2-1. Blue Crabs 4 runs on 8 hits. Staten Island 6 runs on 6 hits. That's where we stand in the top of the 8th inning. Have to wonder if the Blue Crabs can get something going here in the top of the 8th if Southern Maryland alters what they're going to do with the bullpen, or they stick with Polanco, who hasn't gotten all that many innings recently. The pitch low in the dirt, snap throw down to first, and Staten Island catches a break as it deflects off the first baseman's glove. That's Christian Cespedes, and then deflected off of Joe Cruz, the umpire, to keep that from going into right field. Count 3-1 now on Mike Falsetti. Some closer pitches, but nothing in the zone. Unfortunately, the TrackMan technology not working tonight, so we don't have velocities from the pitchers. Viniello. The 3-1 pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. So he walked Yetzko. He now walks Falsetti. 8 and 9 in the Blue Crabs order are aboard via free passes. Well, that's certainly Not what the manager Edgardo Alfonso had in mind, and with that, we've got a pitching change here in Staten Island. 2 on for the Blue Crabs. Runners on first and second with 1 out. It's the top of the lineup coming to the plate. We haven't seen the official motion. Now it is official. Edgardo Alfonso takes the ball from his pitcher Vin Aiello and makes the call to the bullpen. We'll break down the numbers of the new pitcher when we come back. It's the Blue Crabs 4. It's Staten Island 6 on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Don't go anywhere. Well, we go to the top of the 8th inning. Runner on first and second with 1 out. As the Blue Crabs trail by 2, trying to get back into it as Joe Kuzia enters the ball game. Kuzia will face Sundberg to start things out, and then from there, Macy Wolanski and Braxton Lee to follow. First pitch called strike, and the count 0-1 on Sundberg. Called strike right around thigh level. Kuzia pitch low and in. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not, according to the third base umpire, Tony Gasuti. And Gasuti did not even feel like it was worth making the safe motion. He just shook his head. And it wasn't very close. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Sundberg. Over on second base is Ian Yetzko. He walked. Mike Falsetti on first. He also walked. The two of them combined for a double and a single back in the second inning or the third inning to give the Blue Crabs an initial lead. 1-1 pitch, low and in, but he swings and misses, and the count 1-2. If you're Sundberg in this spot, thought process at least has to be to try to find a way to advance these base runners. It's tough because of the force at second base, but if you can have runners on second and third for Wolanski as opposed to first and second, but at least go a long way as far as putting the tying run in scoring position for a guy who has 2 hits in the night. 1-2. Swinging a high fly ball, well hit to right field. This one back to the warning track in front of the wall. Castillo tracks it down. No, he dropped it. Did he drop it or did he not? Now the run's going to come all the way to the plate. Yetzko is tagged out at the plate. Does that end the inning? And they're trying to figure out what's going on here. Cespedes, or I beg your pardon, that was Castillo out and right, who I guess made the catch. He dropped on the transfer. Yetzko tried to buy a run at the plate, and that's going to end the inning because they're calling it a catch at the warning track by Castillo. The relay throw gets Yetzko at home, And the Blue Crabs had first and second and one out, and a long fly out from Jack Sundberg actually ends the inning for the Blue Crabs on a bizarre double play. It's probably going to go down as a 9-4-2 double play as Castillo threw to the second baseman, the cutoff guy, Angel Aguilar, who threw to the plate to get Yetzko for the final out. Well, a very convoluted and complicated final out in the top of the 8th. The Blue Crabs down to just 1 inning left to play as they trail 6-4. Alcis Herrera out to the mound. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, after a stroke of bad luck for the Blue Crabs in the bottom of the 7th that extends into the top of the 8th, it's 6-4 Staten Island. The first pitch from Alcis Herrera is in there for a called strike on Rusney Castillo, and the Blue Crabs find themselves in a world of trouble in the bottom of the 8th inning. 0-1 pitch on the ground, slowly to third. Yetzko's got it. He fires to first. It's a low throw, nicely picked by the first baseman, Jared Walker. And there's one away. So one out in the bottom of the 8th inning for Ricardo Cespedes. Blue Crabs pitching really hasn't done all that poorly, but we'll give you the final line on Adrian Cook and what things look like for Alcis Herrera as well. So Cook, 6 innings, 3 hits. He's charged with 4 earned runs, 5 walks, no strikeouts tonight. And an attempted bunt from Ricardo Cespedes. It's foul. Count 0-1 on Cespedes. Here's the pitch. Wave and a miss. This one low in the dirt. And the count 0-2. Herrera's looked good at times. He looked good in his first appearance. He looked pretty good in that last inning at times as well. 0-2 is low. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. But he does allow 2 runs in that last inning. They go down as unearned, but either way, they are runs the Blue Crabs want back. He allowed an infield single, a ground ball single to right, and then a line drive into right field. So 3 hits in an inning. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Ricardo Cespedes. Here's the pitch. A little away in the count 2-2. That was awfully close. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Blue Crabs looked like they were in business for a time, but the FerryHawks pounced for 5 runs. Pitch, line drive right at the center fielder, Zach Collier. Doesn't have to move much to make the catch, and there are 2 away. Well, it looks like that's going to do it for Alcis Herrera after recording the first 2 outs. The Blue Crabs turn to Dario Polanco for the final out here in the 8th. Alcis Herrera goes an inning and 2/3. He allows 3 hits. He strikes out 1. He's charged with 2 unearned runs. As Dario Polanco enters the game, he'll try to get the final out in the 8th and see if the Blue Crabs can get some offense going in the 9th. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Dario Polanco enters. The first pitch a little bit away from Polanco, and the count 1-0 on Andres Noriega. It's been a tough go of things for Polanco this season. 7.13 ERA, and he's coming in to just get 1 out in the 8th. As the 0-1 pitch is away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And Polanco throws in the mid to upper 80s. He'll touch 90 from time to time. As a lefty, he brings something to the table in that department. 1-1. Line drive, hard hit, right to center field. It's Collier who's there. He makes the catch chest high for the final out. Well, Polanco only throws 3 pitches to finish off the Staten Island FerryHawks, who go down in order in the bottom of the 8th inning. But the Blue Crabs have some work to do in the top of the 9th. 2, 3, and 4 come to the plate for Southern Maryland when we come back. Well, we are ready to go in the top of the 9th inning. The Blue Crabs trail by 2. Austin Rooney, glad to have you with us on a Friday evening. The first pitch, a called strike on Michael Wolanski. And the count is no balls and 1 strike as it clips the inside corner. Wolanski is 2 for 4 today. He'll be followed by Braxton Lee, who's searching for his first hit, along with Jared Walker, also looking for his first hit. 2, 3, and 4 in the Blue Crabs order. 0-1. Foul tip. And the catcher, Noriega, couldn't hang on to it. It's Victor Capelan who's in the ball game. The closer for the Staten Island FerryHawks. He's been very good. 1.50 ERA this season for Capelan. The Blue Crabs were going to muster some offense. Probably should have been back in the 8th inning. They almost caught a major break with Cespedes dropping the, or I beg your pardon, with Castillo dropping the ball out and right. 0-2 up and in, count 1 and 2. Victor Capelan looking to finish up this ball game for Staten Island. Across 42 innings this year, allowed 12 runs, just 7 earned. A whip of 0.95. 1-2 pitch, low and away. Squeaks past the catcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. He's allowed just 3 home runs. He's allowed 27 hits and 13 walks. The walks number a little high. I mean, not terribly high, though. And so far today, he's looked pretty good. Hard fastball. Capelan throws low 90s. Sidearm view, though. Pitch, line drive, hard hit. First base side, foul. And for the Blue Crabs right now, just get base runners. That's all it is. As far as the Blue Crabs are concerned, a single or a walk is as good as a triple or even a home run at this point for Michael Wolanski, because the Blue Crabs, they're going to get that. They need 2 runs. They don't need 1. They need 2. And if that second run's going to score, well, they need Wolanski to score in front of him. So it doesn't matter if it's a home run or a single. He's just got to score before that next guy does. 2-2 is popped up, foul behind home plate. As they always say, a bloop and a blast. This ball game by no means out of hand as Southern Maryland has battled back from more before. But it was Staten Island who rallied for 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. That's how we got here. The Blue Crabs had a 4-1 lead. They led nearly the entire way. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a check swing. It's behind home plate. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lengthy at bat now for Michael Wolanski, as that was the 7th pitch. This will be number 8 to the righty. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. FerryHawks ahead by 2 runs in the top of the 9th. Here's the pitch. Line drive, foul yet again. That was pitch number 8. Making Capelan work. And this is one of those moments in a ball game where it could turn the tide. A momentum-changing play late in this one. Wolanski can find a way to get a hit here, or even if he walks. A long at bat against Capelan. That one could be a backbreaker. Pitch number 9 upcoming to Wolanski. Capelan set at the belt. Heavy wind. Here's the pitch. Low, it's ball 3. Oh no, he called him out on strikes. Oh, no way. The home plate umpire, J.B. Torres, rings up Michael Wolanski at a pitch that was below the knees. And there's 1 away. Didn't look all that close. But it's called strike 3 nonetheless, and there's 1 away. Now we talk about a momentum shifter. Just when it looked like the Blue Crabs might be able to get something going with one of their best hitters at the plate. Instead, it goes down as a strikeout. Called strike 3 at a pitch that was probably a little low. The pitch to Braxton Lee is in there for a called strike. Again, we don't have official locations based on TrackMan because it's not working here in Long Island, or here in Staten Island, I should say. As the first pitch in there for a called strike on Braxton Lee. Lee 0 for 3 today. The pitch, called strike, and the count 0-2. Lee riding a 5-game hitting streak coming into this one, tied for the longest streak on the team with, funny enough, Joe DeLuca, who had a 5-game hitting streak before he went down with injury. That stays. You have to have an at-bat and have to go 0-4 to lose your hitting streak. Well, the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Lee goes down, swing, and there are 2 away as Victor Capelan has come in, and he has a pair of strikeouts. Victor Capelan has 2 strikeouts. Solter had 4, Aiello had 1. For the Blue Crabs, their entire pitching staff has just 1 strikeout across 8 innings. Cook did not strike out a batter in 6 innings. Meanwhile, Herrera had 1 strikeout, Polanco with none. 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning for Jared Walker. Pitch low and in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, the Blue Crabs, unless something changes, are going to suffer back-to-back losses and a loss to get things started. 1-0 pitch, called strike against the Staten Island FerryHawks. They led 4-1 going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Adrian Cook allowed 1 run, although there was an error involved. He left 2 on base for Alcis Herrera, who couldn't close the door. Not only did he not close the door, but he allowed 2 additional runs on top of the 2 inherited runners. So 4 runs crossed on Herrera's watch, although he's not charged with an earned run. 1-1 pitch, called strike, and the count 1-2. Southern Maryland down to their final strike. Capelan looking to strike out the side. He's thrown 15 pitches. Walker at the plate. If he can get on, Collier would represent the tying run. Blue Crabs have a long way to go before they can get there, though, as Walker's behind in the count, 1-2. Capelan, the pitch. Just outside, count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A 2-run lead for Staten Island in the top of the 9th inning, looking to close the door on Southern Maryland. In front of a packed crowd here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark. 6 names to a ballpark. Not something I've ever heard. Either way, this place is on its feet. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Capelan goes low. Walker chases. That ends the ball game. The Blue Crabs had a 4-1 lead going into the top of the 7th inning. They leave the 7th down 6-4. This ball game ends with a 6-4 loss to the Staten Island FerryHawks. The Blue Crabs fall in a tough one. It's now back-to-back losses after 4 consecutive wins for Southern Maryland. The Blue Crabs will be back in action tomorrow night at 6 p.m. We'll run through the box score quickly, along with some of the more productive hitters in the Blue Crabs lineups. Adrian Cook goes 6 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, 5 walks, no strikeouts. Also Herrera an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs. He struck out 1. Dario Polanco went a third of an inning, threw 3 pitches, and retired the lone batter he faced. All right, your Blue Crabs batters tonight. Sundberg 1 for 5. He left 5 on base. Michael Wolanski was 2 for 5 with a run scored. Lee 0 for 4. He did walk once. Walker 0 for 3. He walked twice. Collier 1 for 4. He scored a run. Shaw 2 for 4. He drove in a run. Hibbert 0 for 4. Yetzko 1 for 3. A double. He came in and scored a run. He also walked once. Made some miscues out in the field, though. Mike Falsetti 1 for 3 today. He drove in a run. He also walked once. And that was the Blue Crabs lineup this evening. No one really shined. 2 hits from Shaw, 2 hits from Wolanski, but that was about it. As the Blue Crabs look to get Alex Crosby back in the lineup, look to get Ryan Haug back in the lineup, and Joe DeLuca is close as well. 3 critical bats for Southern Maryland not available today, and so they went with other pieces who have filled the gap for now. Shaw played well at second base. Yetzko had some trouble in the field, but he's been a good bat for Southern Maryland. And Falsetti behind the plate as well, another one of those pieces for Southern Maryland. Michael Baca out of the lineup tonight as well, gets an off day. David Harris was also out of the lineup tonight. It was a shorthanded lineup for the Blue Crabs. But either way, this was a game the Blue Crabs they let slip away. They could easily be 20-12 right now in the second half. Instead, they fall to 19-13. Other scores across the Atlantic League. Lancaster wins. They beat Lexington, which means the Blue Crabs fall to 4.5 back in the second half. This is a Lancaster Barnstormers team that is absolutely red hot right now. They cannot lose, and they beat the Legends 11-4. Gastonia on top of High Point 9-4. Charleston, West Virginia over Long Island 7-3, and the Wild Health Genomes on top of York 11-2. All those other games are in the 9th inning if they're not finished yet. Well, that'll do it from us here tonight on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Join us tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. for Game 2 of this 3-game set as the Blue Crabs look to get back on track. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to, well, have a nice night, everybody. You can go now as we close things up. We finish, as always, with Let's